Hey guys, it's dafunkygibbon here with another deck profile. This time it's going to be my 6 Samurai deck. Just so you know, it's not totally finished. There are a few things that I want to change, a few changes I want to make. Hopefully I'll soon have the cards to do that. So this is how it is at the moment. I'll explain any changes I want to make as I go through it, okay? So here we go. We start off with 1, 2, 3 Kizan. Absolute staple of the deck. You have to run 3. Any less, and there's no point in running the deck. As you know, if you control another 6 sand monster, you can special summon this. It's brilliant. Obviously, it's really easy to get out on the field. Enough said, really. Okay, next is 1, 2, 3 Kagemusha, which is the tuner of the deck. This is great because obviously it gets me into things like Shien, pretty much any of my synchros. Obviously, if I get Kageki out, I can then just special summon this from the hand, go straight into Shien or Elder. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Next is 1, 2 Kageki. This is great because you normal summon this, you can special summon another 6 hand from the hand, usually Kagemusha, to go for Shien, or you could special summon something like maybe Anishi or Zanji. And that brings me on to the next card. Zanji, this is a really recent tech I've put in. This is actually on the recommendation of somebody. Because what you can do is you can play this, and then you can asceticism of the 6 samurai for either Kizan, or if you play Kizan, you can then asceticism for this. Either way, it's good. The effect is pretty good as well. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacked, destroy the monster this card attacked, which is pretty strong. Obviously, it can overtake, run over some pretty big monsters there. Next up is Anishi. This card's got a great effect, during either player's turn as well. That's the key thing to remember here. Either player's turn, you can remove from play 2 6 sand monsters to bounce a monster on the field, which is great if your opponent tries to exceed or if they try to synchro or anything like that. Next up is 1 Grandmaster. I was running 2, but then I swapped 1 out for the Zanji. Obviously, this is another good card, another easy special summon. 2100 beta. Next up is 2 Elder. Obviously, this is good, so you can special summon it from your hand if you don't control any monsters and your opponent does. This is great. Next up is 1 Veiler, which is obviously pretty much a staple in most decks these days. No need to explain what that does. Now onto the spells. We've got Gateway, which is obviously great. If you draw into this first turn, you're going to start notching up those counters pretty quickly. 1, 2 Dojo. Another great card, obviously. Start knocking up those counters. You can then send it to the graveyard for a special summon. Usually maybe Kizan, or go for a Kagemusha or something like that. Then it's 2 Asceticism, works with either Kizan, Zanji, Kagemusha, or Elder. Obviously, if you have Elder in your hand, you special summon it, play this, you can then special summon Kagemusha, synchro for Shien, or Nichiria Beast if you have one. Then we've got 3 6 Sam United, obviously for the draw power. You can only take a maximum of 2 counters, which is, that's still +2, so that's pretty good. And obviously I'll run 3, so it's got good potential. Smoke Signal 2. Obviously, since the March 2012 ban list, we can now play 2, which is great. Obviously, an instant search for a Kagemusha or a Kageki or an Elder, whatever you want. It's pretty good. 1 Rota, which is also obviously another good. Then we get on to the staples. Obviously, Monster Reborn, Book of Moon, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, and 2 MST. Now onto the traps. 1D Prison. I would run 2 if I had to, but I've only got the 1, so I guess I have to do. Vanity's Emptiness. This is a great card. Neither player can special summon monsters. Obviously, that shuts down a lot of decks. If I can get into this first turn, get all of my special summoning out of the way, then chain it to my opponent's draw phase, no special summons for them. If I've got Shien on the field, it's a fairly good lockdown. Yeah, brilliant. That's saved my ass a couple of times now. 1, 2 compulsory. Obviously, good staple. Good for if your opponent tries to exceed into like Zen mains. You know, obviously you can bounce it, so that's good. Next is 2 Magatama. Now, when I get the chance, I want to swap these out for Fiendish Chains. But at the moment, Fiendish Chain sits on eBay at like, I don't know, £35 or something silly. So those are good at the moment. You know, if your opponent tries to like Dark Hole you or Lightning Vortex or something like that, it's good. Mirror Force, good card, staple. Judgment, staple. And 2 Solemn Warning, again, you know, good cards. Okay, now onto the extra deck. Just move those out of the way. Extra deck, we've got obviously Shien, the main boss of the 6 Samurai deck. Obviously his effect is amazing, and he's a 2500 beater, and he's extremely easy to get out on the field. If you have Kageki and Kagemusha in your hand, instant Shien, great card. Next up is Flamvel Uruquizas, I don't know how you say it, but yeah, that card. This card saved my arse the other day. It got down to time on the round, and my opponent had 2 defense, so I was able to synchro into this, and then obviously attack their defense. This has a piercing attack, so I was able to gain burst damage, which obviously netted me the win, which was great. Next up is Blade Armor Ninja. Obviously good if you can special 2 Kizans onto the field, synchro for this. Use its effect, detach a material, and then it can attack twice, which is great. So it's a 2200 beater, so it's fairly powerful. Driven Daredevil. You don't see this card played very much, which I think is a shame, because it's absolutely great. This card cannot be destroyed by battle when attacked by a monster with higher attack. After damage calculation, if this card was attacked by a monster with higher attack, destroy the opponent's monster it battled. It's kind of like a poor man's Catasta. And it's a 7-star, so it's quite easy to get into with like Kagemusha and a Grandmaster or something like that. It's pretty good. Like I say, you don't see it a lot of plays, but it's pretty good. Next up, Barkion. I don't have a beast, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, but I managed to score a Barkion on eBay. Obviously a good card for negating traps. Another Exceed now, Leviathan Dragon. Pretty much a staple in most decks. It's obviously really good. Landois. This is great. This is a really cheap card. It cost me like £1.50. And you can negate effect monsters' effects, which can be really handy. Really useful. Next is Stardust. Obvious reasons. Most decks run it. Stardust. It's pretty standard. Chimeratech Fortress, just in case my opponent's running Machinas or Cyber Dragons or anything like that, I can obviously steal their monsters for a good beat stick. And lastly, a Utopia. And that's pretty much it. As far as the extra deck goes, I'm after an Eteria Beast and a Brionac, but I'm going to wait for the reprint for Brionac, 'cause it's not far away now. And I suppose the Zen mains would be good, and maybe a Leviair. But that's about it really, guys. Comment, tell me what you think of the deck, see if you think you can make any improvements. I'll do my best to reply and be as helpful as I can. If you have any more questions about 6 Sams, feel free to send us a message or something. See you later.